Good morning, I'm Terry, and welcome to TARDIS Spider. It appears the spiders have won. If I can get out of here, join me on November 13th. We will celebrate Doctor Who Day at the Foley Public Library. So on to today's video. Elizabeth Sladen is the journalist Sarah Jane Smith. From the stories The Time Warrior, Through the Hand of Fear, returning for the Five Doctors, and returning again for School Reunion and Journey's End in the new series. Sarah Jane has been with 7 doctors, the most of any of the companions. In fact, she is one of 3 companions to have worked with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th Doctors. Do you know who the others are? By many, Sarah Jane Smith is considered the best companion of the classic, or the best companion in Doctor Who of all time. In casting Sarah Jane Smith, producer Barry Letts had a scene written specifically for the auditions, telling the actors it was for a part in one Doctor Who story. Elizabeth Sladen had no idea that she was auditioning for a regular role. After seeing many others do the scenes, Letts was impressed with Sladen, saying, "She could be frightened and brave at the same time. The others could be either frightened or brave. I made up my mind on the spot." Rather than send Sladen home and have her wait to hear the news, Letts told her that Jon Pertwee was on his way in to say hello. Sladen didn't understand why, but was happy to meet with the actor. After introducing himself and speaking to her, Pertwee discreetly gave Barry Letts a thumb up behind Elizabeth Sladen's back, and the producer knew that he had made the right decision. Then script editor Terrence Dicks admitted in interviews that he had an old-fashioned idea, that the doctor's assistants were there to ask for plot clarification, get captured, and provide a good scream when a monster showed up. But Letts told him that Sarah Jane wasn't to be an assistant, but the doctor's colleague. But with Tom Baker on the scene, and the arrival of Peter Hinchcliffe and Robert Holmes, Sladen evolved Sarah Jane into a different kind of character. As Elizabeth Sladen explained in her autobiography, "The arrival of a new doctor actually gave me the freedom to regenerate Sarah Jane as well. If someone comes in who's the same person, but is actually totally different, they do things differently, and that in turn makes you react differently. So I discovered all sorts of new things I could do, and it gave me a new lease on life and allowed me to expand. I loved that." Sarah Jane would adopt a bit of the doctor's fashion sense, dressing in odd, colorful outfits, more youthful and playful than anything she had worn during Pertwee's final year. Sladen involved herself in these costume choices, wanting to display just how much Sarah was becoming more like the Time Lord. As the stories continued, the doctor and the journalist became an inseparable pair. In the story, The Seeds of Doom, Baker added a line in which the doctor gleefully introduces Sarah as his best friend. In all the years of Doctor Who, the hero had never referred to anyone with such familiarity or affection, but Baker believed it fit the relationship developing. In contrast to his previous companions, some fans wondered if their connection did not have a subtle undertone of romance. Sarah Jane's final story was The Hand of Fear, broadcast in October 1976. Sarah Jane decides that she's being taken for granted and threatens to leave. To seem serious, she packs her bags. Meanwhile, the doctor receives a telepathic summons to Gallifrey. As Sarah returns to the control room with her luggage, the doctor must uncomfortably reveal that they must part ways. Sarah Jane's final episode attracted more than 12 million viewers. The new series wishes they could do that well. She had been the show's longest-running companion in terms of broadcast seasons, with 3 full years plus 2 extra stories under her belt. Fans often hoped that Sarah Jane would return, and in different ways she did. She appeared in the failed pilot K9 and Company. She returned for the Five Doctors, and returned to Doctor Who itself in 2006 in the story School Reunion, and returning again in Stolen Earth and Journey's End. And we will not forget the Sarah Jane Adventures. With 4 seasons of its own, it qualifies as a hit series. Sadly, Elizabeth Sladen is no longer with us, but I hope you enjoyed every moment we have of Sarah Jane Smith in Doctor Who. And now for a recommendation. This week, Midsummer Murders has completed its 22nd season and is streaming on Acorn and many other streaming services. So enjoy Midsummer Murders. Don't forget how much we cared for Sarah Jane. Enjoy your journey through time and space